Hey, it's Vas here from Metro Hobbies, and today's video is for those drag fans out there. Losi have released a new car. Well, it's technically the same chassis, but with a new body. This is the 1968 Ford F100. It's a gorgeous looking car. As you can see, it comes in two colors. We got the fingerprint magnet black over here, and we have the beautiful yellow as well. Stay tuned because we're going to go through a lot of detail in this guy and give you all a bit of feedback on the Losi 22S. Okay, so once you get everything out of the box, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a manual, you're going to see your radio, and of course the car itself. Now there are some AA batteries as well for the radio, which are strapped to the radio box. I haven't untaped those, but they are in there for the radio itself. Now, the manual bag comes in a sealed bag. You're going to find some additional stickers that you can use to decorate the car a little bit more. There's also what looks to be like a couple of really cool badges in there. We've got some Allen keys, and there's also a cross wrench which will help you work on the vehicle as well. And of course, you've got the comprehensive manual that you'll need to go through. Now, a lot of this is going to be available online as well, so if you do lose the manual, you will be able to download a PDF. Now, the radio itself is the Spectrum SLT3, which has been around now for a little while and seems to be proving to be quite a reliable unit. No collapsible antennas or anything like that. You have a third channel switch just here. Throttle trigger seems to be well weighted, so I think it's going to work well for a lot of people. And of course, you've got your nice little foam wheel in there. The on and off switch is just down the side here. You've got your usual reverse switches and so forth along the back. And there's also a 3-position switch for your speed. So you got a 50%, 75, and 100%. So if this is going to be your first drag car, or if you've got this radio for another vehicle as well, you can actually tone down the top speed of the vehicle by just flicking that switch there. And then of course on the front we have the steering trim, throttle trim in the middle, and you have your steering dual rate knob just there as well. And of course you've got a nice little LED indicator light to let you know when the radio is on. Runs on 4 AA's, which as I said, they come included in the box. Nice little handset, and should serve you well for this particular vehicle. Okay, so now for the main car itself, and this thing looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, I think Losi have actually really captured the mold of this vehicle. They've done a fantastic job with a few little details as well. You've got the little window trims on here. You've got a nice little bit of a roll cage. You have that really nice looking drag spoiler on the back, and then of course you've got the wheelie bar sticking out of the back there, which we'll get into in a little bit. Now the front end here, you'll actually see some detailed grille. Now this is not a sticker or anything like that, which kind of emphasizes that scale detail that Losi have gone for here. You got nice chrome bumpers going along the front, and this actually comes with LED front headlights already installed. So when you power this thing up, you're going to have your front LEDs on there if you want. Now, with that said, you are going to need to take a little bit of care when you first take the body off, because the LEDs do come plugged in, and you can potentially damage the wire that they are connected to. So just be a little bit careful when you are taking the body off for the first time. Now I've already unplugged mine for this unboxing, but yeah, when you get it brand new, just be mindful of that. So when you take this guy off, you will see there's actually a wire here which is actually connected to the wire that goes into the receiver box, and that actually powers the LEDs. And you can see the LEDs are actually mounted on there like so. They are routed with some sort of like wire retainers on the body. You can probably unstick them and position them however you like. That's entirely up to you. The front grille and headlights is actually reinforced with a nice little plastic piece on here, so it's not just kind of like double-sided taped on. It's all actually bolted on, which is quite good. And the spoiler as well at the back, you can see how it's bolted on there as well. So they don't seem to have a rear LED lights or light buckets for this particular body, but I'm sure some of you guys out there who are pretty handy can probably modify that if you want. It's entirely up to you. So that is the body. Of course, the black, be really careful. I feel like I should be wearing white gloves with this, because it's just, you look at it wrong and it's got fingerprints on it. But of course, that's not going to matter when it goes sliding on this roof down the drag strip the first time you take this thing out, because it's all part of the fun. Now, for the car itself, very much the same as the Camaro car that we unboxed a little while ago, with the probably the exception of some body posts differences and things like that. The wheelie bar on the back actually comes with a nice little turnbuckle on here that you can adjust. So at the moment it's probably about sitting an inch off the ground, but you can adjust that down to the point where it's almost touching. So that will actually give you, nice traction, saves the front wheels from coming up. But if you like that you know, seeing your front wheels come up with the excessive power that, you know, when you pull that trigger. Of course, leaving it up a little bit is also kind of cool. So the car does run with an IC5 connector. And of course, it has the 100 amp smart firmer ESC on here as well. IC5 connectors are compatible with EC5 connectors. They're exactly the same. The only difference is the IC5 has the extra cable running down the middle for that voltage telemetry and so forth that you can hook up later on. On and off switch is that really nice push button switch that you see with a lot of these more modern ESCs. It's no longer the slider switch, which has a tendency to fail over time. With the push button, they're a lot more reliable. Battery strap is also a really cool feature that I like with these particular cars because it's a rubberized battery strap. You don't use Velcro or anything like that. And of course, it's designed to carry just a basic 2S, which I think is what most of these drag cars will use, but of course you can probably stretch that to fit a 3S in there as well, especially if it's a soft case. But it's got these little tabs that you'll see on this side just here, and you can pull on the tab and quite easily and quickly remove the battery strap, put your battery in, and then just strap it back down. So they do have a couple of little adjustments, so you actually accommodate some thicker packs like a 3S hard case or something like that. Steering servo mounted at the front there with an aluminium heatsink, and being that this is based on the 22S chassis with a beautiful aluminium chassis, it's got that nice kick up at the front that they used to use on the buggies. Front bumper here, you'll see, doesn't have any additional foam or anything like that for the car, and it's really just designed to sort of minimize weight, I suppose. And the shocks, of course, have all been properly tuned for the drag strip. So you're not going to have a lot of suspension travel. The car itself actually sits fairly low to the ground as it is. Yeah, you can always adjust that later on. It does have metal drive shafts running in the rear, which will be nice and strong for you. And then, of course, you've got the adjustable slipper clutch back here. The motor is a 6500 kV. I believe that this is the firmer brushless motor, which looks like to be a 3652 from what I can see. Might be a 3660, but this guy should give you plenty of power regardless, being that it's a 6500 kV. This is going to get off the line pretty quick. Really nice beefy arms on the front with the plastic turnbuckles on there. Everything, of course, is ball bearing raced as you'd expect from Losi. A really well laid out and very well finished off drag car for those of you that want to get into the game. This is definitely a good step for you if you just starting out and you want something that's going to be ready to run and ready to hit the drag strip. Okay, so that wraps up this unboxing of the Losi 22S 1968 Ford F100 drag car. Bit of a mouthful, but it is a gorgeous looking car. I really like the body detail that Losi have done here, and of course it complements that old school Camaro that they released originally about a year or so ago, maybe a bit longer than that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button before you go. Don't forget to check out the video description as well. We'll have links in there to the cars in both colors, as well as some suggested batteries and chargers for you to get going. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you next time.